Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. I am in a very squeaky chair, so I'm going to have to sit very still. And oh my goodness, all this gray is disappearing this afternoon. So, anyway, I just wanted to jump on here and give you a quick as possible health update, hopefully quick. And I manage my Facebook page and my pro page, the one that I post my acting and casting stuff on. And so everything you see posted on those pages, I post. But unfortunately, when people read those posts and they go to share it with someone else, sometimes the information may get a little twisted. It may be misunderstood. So there's some miscommunication out there going on, and I just thought that a video might be the easiest way to clear everything up, and this way you know you're getting it from me, it's from the horse's mouth. And so yeah, this is what's really been going on. I'm gonna start back from the first and zip through it as fast as I can, make a long story as short as possible, so that I can bring you to a couple really cool updates at the end. So, and it's some things that I haven't shared yet. But believe it or not, I was never that person to share health concerns or share prayer requests, that kind of thing. I was always pretty private about that stuff. And it wasn't until in 2017, when I was going through my transplant journey, that God revealed to me, it's like, how are they going to know what I bring you through if they don't know what you're going through? Which makes perfect sense. I mean, God is the ultimate healer. He always has been, always will be. And I always want to give all glory to Him for everything. And, the doctors are very skilled, but they get that gift from Him. So I don't ever want to take away from what they're doing, but God gets the glory. So I've tried from that point to always be as transparent as I can about what I'm going through. That's why all the health posts. So anyway, a little over a month ago, on a Monday morning, I woke up and I knew I had a UTI. And, that's something that you don't mistake those symptoms. If you've had one, you know what it is. So I called the doctor. I said, this is what's going on. I'm going to treat this at home. Any specifics you want me to do? 2 days later, Wednesday evening, Nate comes home from work, and I'm in bed. Fever's gone up, 103 point something, and I'm kind of out of my head. And he said, get up, we're going to the hospital. So he drives me to ER, 45 minutes away. They get me in there, and, he wanted to get me to the hospital. Top priority for him was not, let's comb your hair, let's make you presentable. No, and I'd been sick for 2 days. I may not have combed my hair for 2 days. I don't remember, but I know I looked a mess, and I had no makeup on. I probably looked 20 years older than I am. And, that's who they saw when I came in the door. I was weak. I was sick. I felt horrible. And I didn't, like I said, I was confused. So when they took my temperature and asked me if I'd taken any Tylenol, I said, I don't think so. Why not? Like I was an idiot. I don't know. That's the person that they saw when I went into the hospital. They didn't know me. They didn't know that wasn't the normal me. But when they started running tests, they saw that the infection from the UTI had traveled up into my transplanted kidney. Major problem. They weren't going to touch me. So they immediately made transfer arrangements, sent me by ambulance to Indianapolis, where I'd had my transplant 6 years prior, and had me on the gurney, put oxygen on me, had ice bags around me, ready to ice me down if the fever would not come down. It was a major deal. When we got there, they take me into the Indianapolis hospital. That's who they're seeing. I'm on this transport thing from the ambulance with oxygen, and I'm so sick. And I'd been throwing up at this point. So I was a mess. That was their first impression of me. They get me in there. And over the course of the week and a half stay in this hospital, I was throwing up for 5 days. I couldn't keep anything down, food or drink, either one. They took care of the infection, so my mind cleared. But in the process, they found fluid on my lungs. Then they were draining the fluid from my lungs, and they noticed that my heart wasn't quite working like it was supposed to. So they did a heart cath. Now at this point, my mind is fine. I mean, I'm back to thinking like I do. I was me. And as far as I was concerned, I was me, but I still looked like the same very sick old lady that I looked like when I went into the hospital. And so they took me into the heart cath and did that. I mean, I told him, I said, I can move over onto that table. I can climb over there. No, you stay right there. Let us help you. Let us lift you, and that kind of stuff. And so they did the heart cath, and it showed that I had 2 arteries that were 100% blocked, and a third artery that was between 67 and 70% blocked. The cardiologist immediately comes around to my bed and he says, "You need an open heart surgery, and you need it right away, like now." And then he walks away. It's like, okay. I had no idea there was anything going on. That was quite news to me. But then there's a group of about 12 different doctors that are consulting on my case the whole time I'm in the hospital. Kidney doctors, heart doctors, infectious disease doctors, transplant doctors, just about any kind of doctor you can think of, they had them in on my case because they were all confused as to what to do with me. God does this. He's done it before. He likes to use me to confuse the doctors. And it can be pretty funny from my end, but sometimes it's really frustrating, especially when you're in the hospital and these people don't know who you are. I mean, I'm nobody, but they don't know your normal activity level and that kind of thing. So they eventually, they keep me a couple more days in the hospital because they literally don't know what to do with me. And I'm feeling fine, and I'm up, and I'm walking around the room, and I'm doing everything I would do at home. I'm working on the computer. I'm working on post-production stuff for America's Prayer. I'm doing my work. I'm on the phone, just like I'd be doing at home, except I'm in this hospital room. And the last day I was there, a new nurse comes in, and she puts an alarm on my bed. "Oh, you can't get up without assistance." It's like, you're kidding me, right? "No, you're a fall risk." You have got to be kidding me. And there was a big uproar over that. I mean, I wasn't having it. And then they started talking about releasing me to come home and be, rest for a few days before I had whatever surgery or procedure that they decided was going to work best for me. But did they need to send me to rehab first so that I could build my strength? Y'all don't understand. You don't understand. This is not who when I came in this hospital, that's not who I normally am. And some of the people just did not, flat out refuse to believe anything I was saying. They wouldn't accept it. And on their behalf, I understand there's patients that tell them all kinds of things that are not true. But I was trying to be a sensible, I talked like I knew what I was talking about. And Nate was there. It was a mess. It was very frustrating. But anyway, so I come home and the doctors have this big powwow trying to decide what to do with me because the cardiologist wanted me to do the open heart surgery immediately because he thought that was my only chance at survival because I looked like I had a foot in the grave already. She's got to have an open heart surgery or it's going to kill her. Other doctors were saying, no, let's try the stent. Let's try to do this. Let's try to do that. Let's play around with this. Well, let's just do medication. For a month, they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. And he said, do your normal activities. Let me know if you have any symptoms. Nate and I went to Tennessee. We walked all over Gatlinburg. We did all kinds of things. But I told the doctor I did not ride roller coasters because I didn't know if he'd want me to. But that's who I normally am. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I ride roller coasters. I've jumped out of planes. I go zip lining. I do that kind of thing. And he said, you should have. Just do what you normally do. They decided that they were going to do the pressure wire, to see if they could do the stents and if it would benefit me. And that's what we did this last week. I went in on Thursday. And I will tell you, when I talked to the doctor on the phone, he did stop and say, I gotta tell you, you sound like you got a lot more vim and vigor than that woman I met in the hospital. I said, I tried to tell you. That's not who I am. This is me. This is me. So anyway, he got a little glimpse of that then. Well, I go into the test on Thursday morning, and I'm sitting there in the room with Nate, and we're getting ready to do this procedure. And the doctor comes in and starts talking to us and explaining what's going to go on. And he just keeps staring at me. And finally he stops and he says, I got to tell you, you don't look anything like you did in the hospital. And I said, well, that's good to know, because I was very, very sick back then. And we had a little short conversation there, but I shared with him a few of the things that were said and done and misconceptions when I was in there, because I did look so bad and I was so sick. And it got to the point where he said, I hate to hear that that happened. And then finally he said, lesson learned. He understood that he had made a major visual first impression mistake that had actually affected his opinion of what my care should be, a medical decision. So God used me to reveal that to him, and that was a major deal. So I was very thankful that I was able to see that he actually said those words, lesson learned. Total God thing. But we went through the procedure. The 200% blockages, couldn't budge them. They're solid as a rock, and they're not going to budge. But he did say that they have created their own little side roads, as he called them, and that there's some activity going on there that needs to happen. So we're okay. The other blockage, they got in there, they chipped away at some of the blockage that they could get to, and were able to put a stent in. Praise God. And the stent, which is supposed to extend my quality of life and all that, which that's wonderful. But at the same time, God isn't happy with just that. No, I woke up during the procedure. And I'm staring at the doctor as he's looking at the screen. And I hear him say, that really surprises me. And I said, what surprises you? And I'm supposed to be asleep. And he says, well, and he starts explaining stuff. And of course, zone back out. But anyway, God was showing me, yep, he's surprising this doctor. But in the echo test, and I'm no doctor, I don't know anything about these tests. My daughter's an RN, she's probably gonna crack up when she hears my medical descriptions. But anyway, the echo thing that they do on your heart, just to show how strong it is, he said, there's so much more activity than there should be, according to the tests and the blockages. And he said, your heart is working so much better than it should be. I'm thinking, well, yeah, you don't know who my God is. And then he talked about how the way that my body and my heart has has fooled them, has fooled all the doctors over the last several years in the stress tests. My heart has fooled them because in a stress test, it showed, there was 200% blockages, and then there's this other blockage that's pretty significant in the middle. So it's all fairly even. Nothing on the stress test stood out to alert them. It's all just about the same. So that's why they went ahead and they did the transplant when they did, because if they'd known anything was going on in there, they wouldn't even have considered a transplant. That would have disqualified me immediately. But God wanted me to have that transplant. That's why I'm here today. Praise God. So yeah, it's just one God situation, one God thing after another. And he just keeps amazing me. But yeah, the doctor said that these blockages didn't happen overnight, and that there's no reason for me to change my activity level at all, like the roller coasters and that kind of thing. He said, you've had these blockages for a while. The things that you're doing are not affecting your heart. They're not affecting, nothing's happened. Jumped out of a plane 6 years ago. Nothing happened. I've ridden roller coasters every vacation we've taken, except for this last one a couple weeks ago. Every vacation we planned it around amusement parks and roller coasters. Nothing's happened. And yeah, totally God. He said, that's not going to change. You're the same person you were. I just know now. I know what the doctors are saying is going on. But I also know what God's saying. And he's saying to continue. He's got a plan and a purpose for me to be here. And it's not over yet. So yeah, I just wanted everybody to know that I may not look the best today. Like I said, I'm going beauty shopping a little bit, but I feel good. I'm doing well. The procedure knocked me for a loop, for a couple days. The stent thing, I've got a pretty good size bruise on my leg, and it's sore, but I feel great, and have God to thank for it. But yeah, I'm ready to get back to work and going to a granddaughter's birthday party this weekend, and just enjoying life, and very thankful, very thankful. Don't share this. Ooh, I shouldn't have said the granddaughter's birthday party is supposed to be a surprise, so don't share this with anybody that knows her. So anyway, I love you all, and I'm very thankful to everybody that's been praying. Prayer changes things, and it confuses the enemy. And yeah, God's just put him where he belongs again. I'm very thankful to God because he's very, very faithful, and he's amazing. He's amazing. Why are we so surprised? He just always comes through. So anyway, I'll be quiet. I'm very thankful, and I just thank you all for listening to the whole thing. I know I tend to ramble when I talk, but I'm excited about the next adventure I have, and yeah, I'm working on a script, and just very excited. So I love you, and you have a blessed and wonderful day.